Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our viewers around the globe for another series of intimate conversations. And I hope and pray that you're all making and creating your world and life the way that you really choose it to be, and not empowering something in the world that you do not want. So welcome, Simone. Simone
Thank
Davis is
you.
our guest today.
Hi. Thank you
Hi.
for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. I've
Mm.
been watching your journey for many years, Simone, and honestly, you're just a Trojan. You keep going and you have not given up. And I just admired your journey so much and your strength, your courage, wahine toa,
Yeah,
all of that. Strong
yeah.
woman. Yeah,
Oh,
beautiful.
thank you.
Mm. So, I will just read your little bio here. So Simone Davis is 84 years old. She's a
40,
working mama.
48,
Oh,
48
48.
actually. 84. Oh my goodness.
That's so strange. 48 years old, working mama with 4 children, 3 living, 1 in heaven. My ultimate goal is to keep being a better version of myself, to keep striving for good things that help me to move forward in life, to uplift and inspire many along the way with my story and journey from tragedy to happiness. My biggest achievement has been that I have been able to overcome a tragedy and turn that into something positive in my life, although not something I can ever forget, but is something that has opened my eyes to life is too short. Live it to your fullest. Absolutely agree.
Yeah,
Life is so short. And you look back, Simone, especially when you've got children and you see how quickly these children are growing.
yeah,
And, it's incredible how quickly it goes.
yeah.
So, Simone, tell us about yourself as a kid. Were you a strong-willed child? Because you've got such a strength in you now, and I know we grow through life, and
Yeah.
we move through a lot of different things in our life and experiences that create that strength too. But you must have been quite a strong-willed kid.
Um, mm, I wouldn't say I was strong-willed. I'd say that I was, yeah, quite a mischievous, lost child.
Yeah,
Like I was trying, yeah, I mean, obviously you're still growing, you're still trying to figure life out. And I was quite a rebellious child. I had a lot going on, a bit of trauma go on in my childhood. So I think it kind of stemmed from there. Like my real dad had left me when I was quite young. And
yeah,
so I went through a bit of stuff like childhood stuff and that I guess I never really dealt with later on down the track. So I think in the last 7 years, I think that's when I really started finding myself.
yeah,
But it took for me to go through like trauma to actually really open up and say, hey, look, what's my purpose here? What like when you start having children and stuff like that, you know your why and all that. But I never really I never really dig deep into me, like who
yeah.
am I? Like yeah, it took me a very long time to figure life out.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
we come in with to experience things for sure. And
yeah,
we all have some sort of trauma from childhood, basically. We all navigate our way through stuff like that. But and our parents, they don't they they sort of don't know either, if you
yeah,
know what I mean. Like we could say, well, they did this, they did that, but they didn't realize either that they
yeah,
were where they were in life as such a
yeah,
lot of the time, and that deep inner work that takes us out of traumas and
yeah,
tragedy and wounding. So yeah, it takes a bit of navigating through. And I know as a mum myself and having my first baby at 20,
yeah,
I I was still, God, I had still so much learning to do about myself, and I feel for that child because she was the one that had to put up with all my dramas and,
yeah,
all
yeah.
my shit that I was doing and
Oh,
things in my earlier years,
yeah.
finding out who I was. And yeah,
It's
so
hard, eh? It's hard to trying to figure it out, but Yeah,
It is.
that's why it kind of blows my mind that it took me to go through what I went through to be like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, all those years of just like, yeah, whatever, but
Yeah.
it just took me to go through something like that to realize, oh my gosh, yeah, life's too short, and who am I? Who are you, Simone? Really, like, who are you?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it wasn't a nice thing that I had to go through to really open up, but I've evolved more in the last 7 years than I did growing up,
yeah.
so
And it's
amazing.
strange. Humans need shock to change. We need
Oh,
some sort of shock to wake
yeah,
us up, really,
yeah.
So
And that's,
just
yeah.
explain, Simon, what was your experience? What did you go through that changed your life?
Yeah, so in 2016, well, I got pregnant in 2015, and I thought, oh my gosh, like, I'm in my 40s, there's no way, like, and when I found out I was pregnant, I was actually, well, I wasn't happy about it. And
Yeah.
I was trying to decide whether or not I was actually going to not abort him, but I was thinking about giving my baby up to my niece that can't have children.
Yes.
So that was there, I pretty much decided that, like right there and then, no, I can't. I'm in my 40s. No way, I can't do it again. Um, and I'll get to the end of that story when we get to that stage. But
Yeah.
anyway, I ended up deciding, no, you know what, I'm actually just I need to do this. It's something this is my child. I need to do it. And anyway, it turned out, the pregnancy was pretty rough, and I was sick. I was just in and out of hospital all the time. And I actually got to my heaviest while I was pregnant at 200 kilos. So it was, yeah, it wasn't good. It
Yeah.
wasn't good. And so I ended up having my baby a month early before my due date. And he was like, with the scans and everything, I was told that everything was great. He was growing good. He's a big boy. And, they picked nothing up during the scans, and
Right.
everything was going good. It was just me. Like, I was pretty much, it was not a very good time for me. And yeah, like I said, I was very sick, and yeah, there was lots of stuff going on. But yeah, so I ended up going into hospital. I had him early, and then they discovered that there was a lot of things going on with him. He couldn't breathe, and then he started having constant seizures, and then blood clots, and it just, yeah, they
Oh,
called a meeting and said, look, there's really nothing more we can do for him. He's just keeps having seizures, and it's just, giving him brain damage. And yeah, and I was just like, how did that go from everything was all good with me, with my baby, to, because what I actually went into hospital because I had stomach cramps, and I didn't think I was having my baby, and it turned out it wasn't actually baby. I had a 2-liter hematoma
oh,
on the left side of my stomach, so it was an emergency surgery. So it kind of made sense that to take baby out at the same time, because they had to open me up anyway. So
yes.
yeah, so it wasn't actually baby. I wasn't actually going in to have baby. It was, yeah, the surgery, urgent surgery that I needed.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, to go through that, and as well as
I reckon. Yes,
have my
absolutely.
had my baby like a C-section as well, and then like within a week I've had all that, and then I forgot to bury my child. Like, yeah, it was a lot.
That would
You
have
know?
been
Yeah,
horrendous, like,
it
actually.
really was. Yeah, it really
Yeah.
was. And yeah, like at the time I didn't get it. Like, I was like, well, hang on, I'm sick. I'm like sick, almost dying myself. Why, I know there was a lot of, God, why,
Oh, yes, I
why,
can imagine.
why my child? Like, I'm sick. I'm the one that's like literally dying on my hospital bed, and you're taking my child. Like, I didn't get that.
Yes.
But like
Yeah.
now, I'm like, as sad as that is, I kind of get it, because my time here on earth wasn't done. There were still things that I needed to fulfill. I have purpose, I'm still here, you
Yes.
know, I'm still here. So there's a reason why I'm still here.
Yeah.
So that's when the whole,
Absolutely.
trying to figure it out. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm still here. So I'm still here. Why, Simone? Why? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I mean about it. Really opened my eyes, like, okay. I'm still here. Okay, right, it's time to start digging deep. I need to
Mm,
start finding myself. And yeah, it took me, a good 5 years to really get into sorting myself out, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well, first you have to heal, the body
exactly.
at least to be able to go into that emotional sort of journey,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
And I think that the one thing that really sticks in my mind is that, and I always share this with everyone because as much as it's sad, but it's beautiful because it's so powerful to me, is that when my child was dying on me, like I knew obviously I was going to lose him. And I just remember those words, as sick as I was, and of course being medicated as well, but I will never forget those words that I said to my child as he was taking his final breaths, is that, it's okay for you to go, son. I'm going to get myself better. I promise you I will get myself better.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's just like etched in my mind all the time. Like
yes,
whenever I have a moment, and I feel like I'm kind of slipping back, I'm like, no, remember what you promised your child. So I think that's what gives me the strength and the drive to keep going, because
right,
it's that
yes,
promise I made to my dying child, like at his final
yes,
breaths, and I'm just like, no, I can't go back. I can't fall back on that,
no.
you
So
know?
he's been the wind beneath your
Oh,
wings, really, like, oh,
100%,
that's so
100%.
beautiful.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think that's what, yeah, that's why, I mean, yeah, I've given up so many. Yeah, there's been a lot of times where I've given up, like, oh no, I can't do this, I just give up,
Oh,
But this
gosh,
time, I've just got the will and drive to just keep going because of those few words,
yeah,
that
yeah.
are quite powerful, like,
You made
yeah.
a commitment to him,
I
and
made a commitment, and I'm just like,
yes,
no
so
way am I falling back on that one. Like, I've quit many a times, and not this time, sunshine.
yeah,
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah,
Wow. I
yeah,
just cannot imagine. I know I've put myself into those sorts of fields, and
yeah,
wow, too
yeah,
big for me. I know I've experienced losing a child in some lifetime. I can
yeah,
feel that, I know that feeling, but man, I
yeah,
just am so thankful I haven't experienced it this
yeah,
lifetime. But
yeah, right, yeah,
God, yeah, so much support has gone out to you though. And you had a lot of people around you at the time. I mean, I know that the audience
yeah,
is growing, your platform's growing, and you've
yeah,
got so much love coming
yeah.
in. But at
So
the time, did
yeah,
you
I've
have,
had like my whānau and stuff like that, but I think because I never really was social media or putting myself out there, and I was just like, I didn't feel like counseling was going to help me, because I felt as though I don't want to go to talk to someone and they haven't actually experienced that, like,
yes,
themselves. I
yeah,
don't want that. And like, even though I was offered counseling, and because I was going, grief is just, it's not nice. So I
yeah,
was going through that roller coaster ride of that as well. And I was like, oh, am I dealing with it? No, I don't want to go and see anybody, because don't put me with someone that hasn't experienced that, because I don't
yes,
want to talk that. And I just felt that it's something that I needed to do on my own. And where can I go? What can I do? What's going to help me? What do I need to do to help me? And so I don't know. For some reason, 3 months after I had lost my child, I did a video, a 10-minute video that actually went viral, and I'm glad it kind of did, because it helped a lot of people as well along the way. Not
yes,
only that,
yeah,
it helped me, and I was just like, where can I go? Like, what can I do? Like, where I don't feel as though I need to actually go and talk to someone, like in an
yeah,
office, or in a room. Or so I went to social media. I put a video up and I shared my story, exactly pretty much how I'm talking now, and yeah, I guess I just found a place where I can express the way I'm feeling without feeling like, oh my gosh. And then also you've got the whole taboo thing around child loss or baby loss or miscarriages and stuff like that. And I was like, no, our babies existed, whether they were like just little tiny little babies, or whether they were
yeah,
stillborn.
yeah,
My baby existed. So I want to be a voice for those that maybe they can't express how they feel. So that's how it all
yes,
started. And I've just been sharing ever since. Like, and I'll tell you what, that was probably the best thing I could have done, even though it was only quite raw 3 months after losing my child. That's probably the best thing I could have ever have done for myself,
yes,
doing that.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Beautiful.
they've just grown, that's just growing, like the social media, like sharing and stuff like that. It's just grown over the
Yeah.
years, and
And
it's helped me.
when you say taboo around losing a child or baby, what do you mean by that? Do you
Well,
mean
I know that back in the days, people just didn't talk about it.
no?
'Cause I know my mother has had a loss as well, and you never heard of people talking about their losses or miscarriages and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know if that was just me, but you never used to hear about people like talking
Yes.
about it openly, like
Yep.
without. I don't know. I think people get scared of judgments and, oh my gosh, what will people think? And like, I don't know. But for me,
See,
like we're in the 20, we're 20, in the 20th
yeah.
century. Why can't we talk about it? I know it's not for everybody. I know it's quite sensitive and it's a trigger for a lot of people. But for me, I just feel as though if you open up and talk about that kind of thing, it helps other people,
It
it does
so
help other
does.
people,
Yes.
and it can be a trigger for some people and they can just close off and not want to listen. But I don't know, I just feel as though I can be a voice for those that perhaps can't talk about it and can't open up about
Yeah.
it. And I do get a lot of messages. People message me and say, "Oh my gosh, I can never talk about my baby like how you do," but it's really helped me so much. Thank you so much for being so open about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, because my baby existed, and I'll always say his name out loud, and like, yeah, you know,
Yes. So do you think, do you sort of feel that people that won't or don't speak about it or have some sort of, um, sort of clam up around saying anything about the loss of their children, do you feel that it may be a bit of guilt? Do
yes,
you feel guilt? Like,
yeah.
I'm sure there must be
I
some of
actually
that.
feel guilt sometimes when I talk about it too, because I'm just like, someone will think, oh gosh, was that a bit too real? I'm like, no, because this is the reality of my grief, what I'm going through. So
Yes.
I would put up videos of myself absolutely a mess.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, you know what? This is the reality of my grief and what I'm actually going through. So I'm going to express that.
Good
I'm
on
going
you.
to be
Yeah,
real and open about it because it's okay. It's
it
okay to
is.
feel like that and to be like that and to have those tears and those feelings. It's okay. Like I
Yeah.
want people to know it's okay. You can have one of those days.
Mm.
But I always remind myself, okay, cool, you're having one of those days or a few days of really terrible grief. Allow
Yeah.
yourself to go there, feel those emotions,
Yeah.
but then just remember you got to rise up, girl. You got to keep going.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
that's the thing, I think, and I know for myself and some of my own traumas and things, I was reluctant to go into it because I was afraid it was going to annihilate me, that I wouldn't come out, I wouldn't
yes,
rise again, that
exactly.
I'd be
I know.
stuck there, that would be it.
I think that too. I think with a lot of people, and I've seen it. I've seen people actually going through that grieving process where they've lost their
Yeah,
child, like way before me, and they're still struggling. They still struggle, and I think that's the thing with me is I don't want to, like, I allow myself to go there, but I don't want to be stuck there because I know it can be a very long and tiresome journey if you stay stuck there for too long. Like
it's a dark,
I don't
heavy place, eh?
for too long. Yeah, no, because I'm just like, no, you're not going to control me, grief. You're
Yeah,
not going to. You're not going to because I'm better than that. I will get out of it.
yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great way to look at it.
yeah,
Yeah,
because grief can control you and you can be stuck in that dark place for too long.
yeah,
Mentally, it's not good. It's not good for
no,
you. Yeah, I don't know. Somehow, like I've been in really dark places where even suicidal. I've been in my bathroom, curled up in my bathroom and being like, I can't do this anymore. I hate this feeling. I've pulled myself out every time because I know, come on, girl, your why and purpose. Come on, that promise you made to your child. Yeah, there's been a lot of dark moments where I'm
yeah,
just like, really, is this worth it? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
I can imagine.
yeah. But it's made me stronger too at the same time, like because I've allowed myself to go there and then I've got myself out of it, and you know, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just so different now. Like, yeah, my life is so different now.
And so I totally see that in many
Yeah,
ways. So with the weight stuff, you were 200 kgs at that
yeah,
point. That journey on its alone is huge
Yeah,
without the loss of a child.
yeah.
And so the loss of the child, your baby, your boy, um, did that prompt the weight loss? Was
A
that
hun-
you now
It
saying,
absolutely
okay,
did.
I'm going to do something
It
about that?
absolutely did because yeah, after I lost him, I was like, of course, I went through the guilt thing. I was like, oh my gosh, you are 200 kilos and you did that to your child. No, I'm not going to blame myself anymore now. Like, we're not there now, but that guilt, it took a long time for me to be like, you know what? You're here now. You can fix this, you know? And like I said, that promise to my child, I'm like, no, you can fix this because you've told your child, you know, you're going to get better. You can fix this now, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I I think it would have been about a few months after that, and I just started eating properly, and I did actually lose weight before I went down the gastric sleeve
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
So I lost about 40 kilos, I think, on my own before I got the public funded gastric sleeve, and yeah, so it did really start a few months after losing him and that, and yeah, you know, I knew that something had to be done. Like, I couldn't keep going, you know. I couldn't
Yeah.
keep up and up and up, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it really did. I was just like, right, now's the time to sort yourself out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's there's no good luck for you next time. Like, yeah, I just felt like luck's on kind of on my side here. Like, I'm still here. So yeah, that told me as well. Well, you're still here. You've been given another chance.
Yeah.
You've been given another shot at life. Don't screw it up this time, girl. You know, sort yourself out. And yeah, so that's pretty much how it all started. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So in the gastric sleeve, like you would have had food addiction, obviously. There was
Oh
some
yeah.
sort of food thing, eh? And
Yeah.
tell us about that part, because I've always been really interested. A lot of people I've talked to, gastric sleeves, they say you've still got to deal with the food addiction side of it.
Yeah.
Like what would you say it was that created the weight gain in the first place?
I
Trauma, obviously, but
yeah, I
how?
don't really want to like blame my past and stuff like that, but I think a lot of stuff that I went through and what I was trying to cover up, my go-to and my happy place to try and like block everything out, you know, I felt as though it was food. And it didn't matter what food it was. It was just like anything I could shove in my mouth. I felt that was my happy place.
Yeah.
Food was my happy place. Yeah, it was just, I just felt like that was a cover up for me, like, you know. And then even though I was at my heaviest,
Yeah.
I still had quite a bubbly personality and loving and caring big heart.
Mm.
But being as big as I was, I don't know, it was just, oh, I can't believe that I actually allowed myself to get that big. And yeah, but I mean, little did people know that there was lots of stuff going on inside. Like, I was
Yeah.
hiding a lot of stuff too. I was going through depression, anxiety. I mean, my family didn't even know to what extent my anxiety was until I was on the TV show Wife Swap. They didn't. My
Yes,
sister
that's
said to me,
another thing.
"Yeah," my sister said to me, "Oh my gosh, sis, I didn't realize your anxiety was that bad." And I said, "Because I never used to talk to you about it. I never wanted to
No.
share that part of my life. I just wanted you to think, oh yeah, we're happy, we're all good, you know. Yeah, I'm big, but I'm oh look at me, I'm bubbly, and you know, like I was that person, but." Yeah, I was
Yeah.
hiding behind a lot of stuff too, like what was going on inside of me. And yeah, they were shocked that it was actually that bad. And I said, well, that's it, sis. That's where I was.
Yeah.
And it had been going on for years and years. And you know, I'd go home back up north and you know be all happy with life, but really, I wasn't. You know, I was going through a lot of stuff. There was a lot of
Yeah.
stuff I wasn't dealing with, and you know, I was just trying to you know, push it all down by eating my, I don't know, eating my worries and cares and everything else away. You know,
Yeah.
it just got really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wow. And so when you had the gastric sleeve done,
yeah,
what was the journey from that point? Because then you were having to deal with, you wouldn't have been able to eat the same, like
no.
all of that would have been a real, like,
Oh, Yeah, like, I mean, even, yeah,
It would have
it
been a
was, it
mental
was.
journey.
Oh, it really was, because I was going from about probably 2 dinner plates loaded every night, like full loaded dinner plates, to literally, when I've just had my gastric sleeve, a couple of teaspoons every meal, 3 meals a day. So it started
And
off
it
like that
must
for
have
quite
been
some time.
hard,
Oh,
like really hard to get your head around that that's all you can have now.
grieving. I felt as though I was actually grieving
Yes.
the fact that I can't eat anymore. Like, I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, I can't deal. Like, I can't even eat that food anymore. Like now I can eat whatever I like, but I'm
Yeah.
obviously still smaller portions.
Yeah.
But I don't feel as though I missed out anymore. Like, I'll still treat myself. I had like a little chocolate cake last night. Like, I don't deprive myself. Like,
No,
but
good.
I'm very mindful of those bad habits creeping in every single day. So I allow myself to have my little treat here and there. But I
Mhm.
also know how far and how long it's taken me to get to where I am today. So I'm constantly reminding myself, okay, girl, you have your cake, but remember, you got tomorrow that you need to get back. Like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I have my treats, and I have my little, like, a couple of hot chips here and there. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been mentally hard, because I also felt that I was grieving the loss of not being able to eat like that ever
Yeah.
again. I was just like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. I cannot eat those hot chips. Or, I mean, I don't really have fast food anymore. I can't even stomach it, to be honest. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just felt like I was grieving all of that, because that's all I kind of knew was my
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
It
It's
helped
a,
me with everything, and I
it
was like, oh my
is.
gosh, I don't have it anymore. Like, what am I going to do? So yeah, I guess I had to find ways of replacing that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that was more of me sharing my journey, and finding other ways of, like my crafts and stuff. I started getting into crafts, and
Mm.
just finding another happy place, because that was my happy place, but that wasn't really my happy place. Like,
No,
it actually wasn't.
no.
So I had to find other, like, avenues, like places that I could go to. And I mean, although I was already doing my online sharing, I was sharing more of me, sharing more of
Yes.
that part of my journey. So yeah,
Mm.
it's mentally challenging, and still is.
Yeah,
It
I
still is.
would
It's
say so.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, so I got to my goal weight, and I was, very fortunate enough to be able to get the excess skin removal last year. So I had to go through that last year. So that was
Yeah.
also, a lot of stuff going on with that. And yeah, we've come a long way. Like, yeah,
You have.
I'm
Yeah.
happy that I'm where I'm at now. And yeah, it's
Mm.
just a maintenance thing for me now. And yeah, I think I just always, I have to remind myself, keep reminding myself, this is where you are today, and it needs to be like this. This is the
Yeah.
life that you need. That you are actually happy in. You
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Mm,
And
yeah.
feel your best in, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were, because you were at the 200 Ks or
Yeah.
roundabout when you went on the wife swap program, eh? On,
I got down to about 185 on there.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I was still big, but I did lose a bit of weight before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got right down to about 160 kilos when I had the surgery. So, I did put in a
Yeah.
bit of work, and I do get a lot of hate when it comes to the gastric sleeve, because they're like, oh, you cheated and you did this. And I'm like, well, actually, I did put in a bit of work, and I am still putting in a lot of work, even to this
Absolutely.
day, to keep it off and maintain. And, I don't just sit
Yeah.
around and go, oh, okay, yep, it's a tool. I say that it is, it's just a tool. And I'm like, you
Yeah.
know what? If I want this tool to work, I've actually got to work with it. I can't
Yes.
just sit on my butt and be like, okay, tool, work for me, do all your work. No, I've actually got to do the hard work and the
Yeah.
hard money, like, I can't just sit and expect this tool to do everything. Like, and I
Mm.
still do. Like, I work out, I go to the gym, and I'm mindful of what I'm eating. And, it's,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work, it's a
Yes.
lifestyle change for me now. So it's just got to, maintain and
Yeah.
keep things on check. So yeah.
Yes. And that was a post that I did see the other week about that was the flack that people are getting
Oh
from
my gosh,
having that
yes.
surgery, and
Yeah.
I think that's really sad. that
Yeah.
people have to go there, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's so many things out there that we can do to better improve our health and well-being, like whether it be
yeah,
pills, shakes, I don't know. There's like
yeah,
so much stuff out there, and I would never judge anybody
no,
taking products or whatever, you know,
yeah,
each to their own. I chose to
exactly.
go there. I've been there, you know, I've been there with all the products and the thousands of dollars spent on all these products out there, but
Weight
you know,
Watchers or whatever it
I
might
was just,
be.
yeah, you know, and I was just
Mm,
like, I was just fortunate enough to be able to get the public funded gastric sleeve, and I'm forever grateful for that because,
mm,
yeah, and I truly believe, like, you know, having gone through losing my child and stuff like that, that all these blessings that have come, like even the blessing with the excess skin last year, that's all been a blessing, you
yeah,
know, and I believe all of that has been through what I've actually been through, like losing my son and that, like all those blessings, you know. And yeah, and manifesting, you know, like I believe in the power of manifestation. So like
yeah,
that's been a big thing for me since I lost desire and that. And
yeah,
you know, I've only ever dreamed of having gastric sleeve. And then, you know, when I lost the first lot of weight, I had been talking to somebody, you know, years prior to even thinking about it. And she was like, you know, you can get this done. And I was just like, you know what? I'm actually going to go and see the doctor. And then yeah, I think I just started manifesting that, and when I saw the doctor, I was like, "Yep, I can already see myself on the surgery table." Like I manifested that, and when I got to
yes,
the surgery table, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I saw this like how many years ago? Like I saw
yeah,
the table and how I'd be feeling on that day, and of course, you know, flood of emotions overcoming on
yeah.
the day, and I was just like, I actually saw this. I visualized this like very moment.
Wow, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and even with my excess skin removal and that, you know, it's not cheap, you know. And I was just like, okay, I've got to manifest that as well. Like, I don't know where I'm going to get the money from. I don't know how. I manifested that and I got that as well, you know.
wow, that's
So I
so
was just
cool.
like, thank you, you know. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I had
yeah,
no money for it,
yeah,
but obviously I had the money for it last year, you know, to pay for it. I was blessed with that, you know. So I was
yeah,
just like, how's this even happening? I'm like, right, that's it. That's how it's happening. Manifesting, you know, like believing in it.
yeah.
I believed in it that much that I was going to get it. It happened,
That's
you know.
beautiful. That's how it
Yeah,
works. That's how it
it's
works.
exactly how it works. And
Yeah,
yeah, no, and even when people ask me, oh, you know, how did you afford to do it? I'm like, you know, it was a blessing and I manifested, you know,
yeah.
if you
That's right.
believe in
And Simone, when you like for you to even lose that 40 Ks before you went kgs,
it.
40 odd kgs before you went in to have surgery, that there is a commitment. That would have been
Yeah,
a big thing for you to do. I mean, your
yeah,
mindset must be like that's what I mean about strong. You're
yeah,
strong in your drive to get to that goal there.
yeah.
And that's
I think my
incredible.
mindset, like the strong-willed mindset,
Yeah.
really just kicked in after I lost my child. I don't think I was ever like, I don't know, some people, yeah, I've had people say, no, you've always been the strong wahine. And I'm like, no, actually, I didn't really feel strong then. I didn't feel strong until I lost my child. That was when
Right.
things changed for me. Like, I was just like, I was so in that strong mindset game after losing him. I was just like, no, man, we're not going to give up this time. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go all the way. Like, I'm going to do it. I've got to do this. And yeah, that's when it really kicked in, going
Yeah.
through that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Life
Wow.
changing, man. Life
I
changing.
reckon
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
just incredible. And
Yeah.
tell us about your experience on Wife Swap. That would have been like,
Oh,
whoa. What a
well,
brave woman doing
what's
that even.
interesting, what's interesting is I get a random message on Facebook, and apparently she Googled me, and I was just like, hang on, I don't know. Anyway, like, and I just think that was a sign. That was a sign for
Right.
me. Anyway, she messaged me, and I'm like, hang on a minute, you could be anybody
Yes.
online just messaging me saying, hey, we've got this TV program, like, anyway, I saw that as a sign, and I was, of course, I talked to my angel baby, and I was just like, look, and I was it was pretty rough for me then. Like, I was still quite heavy and going through all my stuff, and I was just like, I can't put myself on TV looking like this. Like, and I was, and then I had to have a little bit of a think about it and a bit of a cry about it, and I was just like, hang on, I mean, there's how many people in New Zealand, and this lady has contacted me. There's a reason why she wants me. Like, come on, girl,
Yeah.
you know. And I was like, come on, hang on. You're meant to be on this TV show because you're meant to share your story. People need to see and hear what you've got to say. Like,
Mm,
so yeah,
wow.
like when I look, I don't watch it. My kids chuck it on now and again. I'm like, oh my god, cringe. But I have seen it a few times out like throughout my journey. And I'm just like, wow, I kind of get why I'm on there now. Like, yeah, because I had a lot of I had such positive feedback from it, and I'm just like, yeah, I did have that talk with my angel son, and yeah, I wasn't too sure whether I was going to go ahead with it because I was like, I was in a bad way, and I was like, no, I don't think I can do this. Like my anxiety was out the gate,
Yeah.
and obviously, I mean, you would have seen it too. I was just like crazy, like how could I put myself out there on TV? And I was like, no, just be. That's just you where you are right now.
Yeah.
You need to share, like, and then obviously something told me I needed to share that part of
Yeah.
my life with the world, because obviously it eventually went worldwide, like the TV
Yeah.
program, and so I was just like, no, you're meant to. This is meant to. That just doesn't just happen. Somebody doesn't just contact you saying they
No,
got a
that was
TV
how
show.
it, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's how it all kind of happened, and I just knew that. Yep, even though I was at my worst, that it was meant to be. I was meant to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing in that when, something comes in from the universe like
Yeah.
that, and a lot of people get into fear and don't do them, which
Yeah.
is, you know,
Well, that kicked in. I was like, oh,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, totally.
Yeah.
How were the family, like, so we get the edited version of the program.
Yeah.
How is it in behind the scenes? Like, did the family, like, they were as welcoming and all of that as they were
Yeah.
on the screen, all of that?
Pretty much what she saw on screen was how it was behind, like when the cameras were off. Like he was an amazing guy. Like, and it really did that show really that really helped me as well with what I was already going, like the journey I was already on. But that really got me too. I was just like, man, it's time to kick in. We got to kick in here, go on, because at the time I was actually going through the gastric sleeve process. So during filming, I had to leave to go to my first appointment. And I was just like, well, if that's not a sign too, girl, like, come on, so I had to actually
Yeah,
leave. I was just like, look, I can do this, but I need to go like back to Auckland and for my first appointment. I can't miss this appointment. They're like, yeah, no, that's fine. Like, yeah.
yeah.
So I was, kind of went through my first appointment like during filming. So yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was just no, it was a good experience for me, and I think I needed that to kind of kickstart me as well, like to get my A into
Yeah,
G, and
yeah.
because I was still quite rough then, like I was still really big then, so yeah,
And how
yeah,
did your children handle it? Like, with somebody else coming into their home and that sort of thing.
yeah. I think they were okay. They were okay with everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, they missed mummy, but yeah, that was good
Yeah.
for them too. That was good for them, um, and I think since I've had the gastric sleeve and stuff. And I'm in this different body now. Like we're doing a lot more. Like I always promise them, oh, we're going to have more fun. And mummy gets small, and I just want to. And I did mention that on the show as well. Like I just want to have fun with my kids, and
Yeah.
and having that like round the table conversation at the end where I had said, I feel like I failed my children, like I failed my kids. I
Yeah.
don't feel like that anymore. Yeah, I may have felt like that way because it was because of what I was going through, my own stuff that I was going through. So
Yeah.
yeah, I felt that way. But like now, yeah, nothing, it's not perfect, but hey, what's perfect? Like, no parent is
Exactly.
to be perfect.
Yeah.
But we're a lot better than what we used to be back then. Like we're doing fun stuff. We go out, we do things. Like I'm not afraid to actually go out even to the shopping centre and go to the movies. Like we can just do that stuff now. And like, it's just so
Yeah.
much better for us. There's
Freedom.
still a lot of work. There's
Mm.
still a lot of work to be done with me and my kids, and I'm still far from being, top mum of the year. But
Who
I
is?
try my best. I try my best. Like it's hard being, on your own, trying to do everything, work, mahi, and everything like that. But
Yeah.
I get stressful. But I do the best that I can. That's
Yes.
enough. That's
It
enough.
is.
Yeah,
Good on you
that's
for
enough.
being because what you're, showing yourself is more love.
Yeah.
We come through our childhood, and there's, like I was saying, there's always something that we experience in there that takes us further away from who we really
Yeah.
are, and who we think we might even be.
Yeah.
And it does take courage to come back to that and to
Yeah.
face ourselves,
Yeah.
and to pick up and to actually find happiness and peace
Yeah.
within
It's that
ourselves.
self-love thing too, because for a long
Yeah.
time, I didn't love who I was. I didn't even care. Like, I'm just like, well, I'm just a shell here, a body here on earth, like,
Yeah.
whatever, but yeah, it took me, yeah, well, going through the loss of my child to kind of, yeah, you know what? I love who I am. Like today, I'm just like,
Mm,
oh my gosh, I love who I am. Like, not in a vanity way, but I actually love the person
yes.
I've become. And I'm just like so much more confident, happy, and stuff like that. Like, we have our good and bad days, but man, like I just love who I've become now. Like, I'm just a way better version of myself these days, So yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely, eh? And
Mm.
I feel the same with me now. I
Yeah.
can say I really love myself. I couldn't even look in the mirror and say I love
Oh,
you, Mandy. I'd start heaving. I was
yeah,
heaving at
yeah,
myself in the mirror,
yeah.
trying to tell myself
And
I
I
love
do that,
me.
and I actually do that too,
Shocking.
Mandy. I'll look in the mirror, not every morning, but like I'll look in the
Yeah.
mirror and I'm like, oh, girl, you're looking good today. Like, you've got to have those chats
Yes,
with yourself. Like, come
dude.
on, you're looking great today, girl. And oh my gosh, you look beautiful today, girl.
Yeah,
Great day. Like, you just got to have those chats and,
you do.
and
You
just
do.
take a look into yourself and just love who you are. Like, just love yourself.
Yeah.
Mm.
Many years I went through, you know, really despising my body because I thought it was ugly,
Yeah,
and I was an attractive girl in my
yeah.
younger years. I was really attractive and I had a great body. And
You
then I
still
believed,
are.
oh, thank you.
You still are.
Yes, I am. I still am.
Yeah, yeah,
And I really truly mentally told myself that it was totally the opposite, that I was ugly, I was fat, I was slim. And then of course that program, of course, I
yeah,
came to the belief that I really
yeah,
thought I was, and yeah, so I've done the weight gain and then I've done the weight loss thing. And it's been something that I've wasted many years believing that I was
yeah,
less than, you
yeah.
know.
I feel as though I've wasted a lot of years of just being so negative about myself. Like, I
Yeah,
wasted, and that's another thing that I realized, in the last 7 years is like, oh my gosh, I've wasted so much time being like putting myself down for all these years. Like, why? And it's because I didn't love
yes,
who I was. Like, I didn't love
yeah,
me. I didn't like looking at myself. And
yeah,
there were times in my life where confidence was good. I've lost weight and I'm feeling good, but I still didn't love me. Like,
yes,
and I just
yeah,
wasted so much time, and it was just it just gets so draining, and that takes control,
it does.
like, that's who I am. I'm stuck there. That's just all that negative self-talk, it's just
Yes,
quite damaging.
it is very damaging.
It's quite
Absolutely. And it's
damaging. Yeah.
lies.
Yeah.
It's not true. That it's all lies. We tell
Yeah.
ourselves these terrible stories,
Yeah.
and we rant on in here and tell ourselves all these terrible things that aren't even true. And then
Yeah.
years later, you look back and you go, why the hell did I do all that?
Yeah.
No. And it's because we didn't love
Damaging,
ourselves.
eh?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is so damaging.
Yeah.
And it rubs off on our children. I see when
Yeah.
I was running stuff when I was, had my first daughter, and I see the program that I
Yeah.
set. Oh, it's not
Yeah.
fun when you
I
look back.
must admit, though, and I know that I can still fix that, but obviously when I was at my worst and things
Yeah,
weren't good, and I I have witnessed and seen, and I'm not afraid to say this out loud, that a lot of stuff that I went through with my parents
yeah,
have actually been passed on to me, and I know that it's been passed on to my daughter, because there's been things that I've said, and I'm not afraid to say, that there's been things that I've said, and there's things that I've done, like, not bad stuff, but
yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's been passed on to me, and I've actually passed it on to my child, and I'm just like, far out. My mum used to say that, or This is what
Yeah.
this one used to say. And oh my gosh, I went through that too. And stop. Like I keep saying to myself, stop, like just stop. You're passing it on. Like, no, it
Yeah.
needs to stop. Like, I'm trying to work through all that stuff too. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can already see that my daughter is me.
Yep.
I look at my daughter, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. That's me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to fix this. I need to sort that. So I'm currently trying to go through, like, sort that out.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such hard work because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've done that to my child, like,
I
but
know
it
it's
was,
not fun, is it?
it's
When you
not
see
fun.
it. No,
Yeah, like
but
now,
it's
now that I've got myself better, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've done this bit of damage, now I need
yeah.
to fix that.
Well,
Yeah,
we have the cellular memories, and so we store memory in the cells in our body, and those memories come through from our ancestors and get
yeah,
passed through. So your parent, your grandparents passed on to your parents to you, so forth, and then we
yeah,
do to our kids. And it's not until we shift it internally within the body and in the cells that it actually shifts the whole pattern out of our body and out of our field that we're not replaying and
yeah,
recreating the same thing over and
yeah,
over. And it's a huge thing, but that's all the mahi I do, is help people go through those
yeah,
and clear the ancestral line so our
yeah.
great
Like it
grandchildren
needs
that
to
are
be
coming
cut
forward.
hey, somewhere,
Yeah,
like, and
yeah,
sadly, it wasn't until, yeah, I think after the show and stuff like that, like, I don't think I realized really that it was that bad. But then, yeah, like seeing that too, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I was like saying this, and I've been doing this, and she's mirroring, like, and
yeah,
like now, like she's got no confidence, my poor daughter, and I'm
yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've done that, I created that, like she's got no confidence, like now, even though we try, and I'm just like, how am
Mm.
I going to fix that, like, and yeah, like I feel on that part I failed my daughter there, like, I'm just like, okay, there's still time, to fix
Totally,
that,
absolutely. Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
there is.
got a work to do on that, like, yeah,
Yeah.
my
But
poor girl.
that's that there, like if she, like I've written a book, and the book is about a pattern that comes through families. And so
Yeah,
the firstborn daughter, if she bursts through the father, so she's going to carry patterns the same as her dad,
yeah.
and she'll attract to her people like you. So is she firstborn daughter?
She's to me, or the father?
To you and father?
Oh, yeah, both.
Yeah,
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 both.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
she brings through his stuff more than yours.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm,
So yeah, that'll be, but it's looking at what it was that attracted you to him, what the patterns were that you two were running that attracted him to you, and you would shift that within you, that
yeah,
would help her filter through hers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm,
But it's big, they're big. And I remember seeing my daughter, my oldest daughter, because I've got 17 years between my two girls. I had my
yeah.
first daughter at 17, and then I had my second daughter at 38.
Wow, big
And
gap, hey?
a
Oh, I
big,
had a
big
10-year
gap.
gap. I thought that was
It's
huge,
like,
the
wow.
10-year gap. Well, I had my oldest boy and then 10 years, and then I had my girl. So I was just
Right.
like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
starting over again.
I know it's
Yeah,
a big decision, but we went
yeah,
there. I saw my oldest daughter playing out at 17 years old, something that happened to me at 10 years. It was
mm,
an abuse thing. And I thought, how the heck did she know to do that when she wasn't even born when I was 17? How did that
yeah,
happen? And it
yeah,
wasn't until I got into my cellular memory training and things, and I realized that these are passed through from us when we're carrying our babies.
yeah.
And she had that memory passed through to her, which created a pattern for her to start following, which isn't fun.
Wow,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
wow,
unreal. But yeah,
yeah,
it's what happens. And so it's really important for us to clear whatever issues and whatever the traumas are and the wounding within our bodies. It's
yeah,
really important for us to clear them. So our children, it breaks the energetic cycle for them. And
yeah,
then what they can do is start creating from a new space, as us too, when we clear those old traumas,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's really important work. But man, it's a journey and it's continual. It never stops.
yeah,
always something popping up, even if it's somebody pinching a car park, you know, that you're going to drive into and somebody zooms in
Yeah.
front, you know,
Yeah.
that again is
Yeah.
another trauma that we have to process somewhere, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, whoa. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's continual. But it's incredible. And I so applaud you and what you've done. Honestly, it's just incredible how you've got through it all. And we have this you know, I know for myself, I'm not somebody who gives up. So I could never fold into depression because it just was not who I am. You know,
Yeah.
I had this, no, stop it, you know, get out, get up, get up, get up.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but quite often too, we don't have the tools
Yeah.
to shift those things. We might know we run it like I did. I knew I ran all this caca, and it
Yeah.
was, oh my God, I was like observing my life and Mandy running all this drama and my observing me going, you know, like, what are you up to? But also just coming in gently and reminding me that I didn't actually need to do this, you know,
Yeah.
look at it and change the program. So yeah, but I didn't have tools at that point either, and it was frustrating because it was
Yeah.
like, well, how do you change all this?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, see, I don't know. Like, because I'm a bit of an overthinker too, and I think that, yeah, that used to trigger me. Like things,
Yeah.
events, like stuff going on, like even cyclone. With the cyclone, I was triggered. My anxiety is not as bad as it used to be, but I have those triggers, and I think they're like fear triggers
Yeah.
that set off my
Yes.
anxiety. I'm like, come on, man. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
get through it, but it's just like, man.
Yeah. No,
But
I
I'm happy that they're not as bad as they used to be. But yeah, there's a few times where I'm just like, oh man, like just triggers, and I just start getting like real emotional and overthink just situations, and
yeah.
yeah, it's no, yeah, I don't like it. But
No,
it is
it's
what
not
it
a
is, you
nice
know?
feeling, eh?
Yeah, it's
It's
not. And
not.
I'm just like, oh really, I don't want to feel this, but oh well, let it be then. Come on, hurry up, get it over and
Yeah.
done with,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hurry up. I
Yeah.
know it's not a nice feeling. Even that cyclone myself, I because you know I had memory of another cyclone when I was living in Dargaville, and 4 big trees fell onto the house. You know,
Goodness.
all the
Yeah.
lightning from the power poles going, and oh
Yeah.
my God, it was
Yeah.
like, what? So
Yeah.
yeah, this one building into this one the other week, it was like, oh God, please don't let it be too
Yeah.
far down.
Yeah. I know,
Yeah,
it's scary. It's scary, but
it is scary.
mm,
But life is scary, you know, we have
yeah.
so many things that we have to traverse our way through and try and, you know, navigate, and it's just continual. But you
Yeah.
come to a point, like I can feel with you, where you're getting more good things happening in your life now than you were before because
Yes.
you've changed the program.
Yeah.
You
I,
now,
I, I like to call it I flick the switch.
yes,
You
you
know, you
flipped the
flick that
switch.
switch, and yeah, no,
Yeah,
a lot of people go, what do you mean? I'm like, you know, you gotta flick the switch in your head, like just switch it
yeah,
around a bit, you know, give it a bit of a tweak. Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's what I've done. Like I've flicked that switch and I've changed my mindset, and
yeah,
you
you
know,
have.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a lot more positive than I was. I'm more positive. Like I do the more positive self-talk than I did the negative self-talk, you know. So that
yeah,
definitely helps when you switch that as well. Like my negative was about probably 90% back in the days.
yeah.
Well, we're 90% positive now. You know, I've still got. You never get rid of the negative stuff, but
Well,
it's
those things, yeah,
mm,
those negatives can be a warning sign for us
yeah,
sometimes, you know, so we've got to pay attention.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
when they're controlling us and they're
yeah,
driving, and there's all this other negative that comes in from it, is just
yeah,
like too much, hey?
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it's a great life to be living, really, when you know, like now the empowered you
yeah,
knows that you have the strength, you have the courage, you have the drive, you've got the mindsets changed, so you've got the right mindset now to just take on anything, really,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I
And
mean, we're definitely, you know, I've still got a few things going on in my lifetime situation that I need to deal with. Like, and I'm just like, why are you so weak at this in this area? Like, man, like, you know, there's like parts of my life where I am a little bit weak, and I do need to work on like some stuff. And yeah, you know.
But that all happens in time though, eh?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it'll happen when you're ready for it to happen.
yeah,
And it'll just be there till it isn't, and that's
yeah,
a lot of people, clients and things come to me and it's like, well, why haven't I done this? And it's like, because you will when you will. It's
yeah,
like, don't give yourself a hard time about that. It'll happen
yeah,
when you're ready. And when
yeah,
we stop actually giving ourselves a hard time about it, often then it's time.
yeah. Well, maybe I need to do that. Take your advice and
Yeah.
stop, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
let it happen, girl.
Just accept it as it is now, and
Yeah,
it'll find its way through.
yeah, yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
you've got good determination and and like that, manifesting and creating, and you just envision it the way you want it to be, not how
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow, Simone, this has been amazing. I love this chat, and I've loved, like I said, watching your journey. I think you're just amazing. And yeah, I mean, there's so many, I've got people around me, beautiful people we just had a very sad um, farewell to a gorgeous little 11-month-old, and
Hmm.
last year, and
Yeah,
it was it was one of the funerals or celebrations of life that I really just didn't want to go to. I was
yeah,
like, man, I don't know if I can deal with this.
yeah,
It's just so sad and so sudden,
yeah,
which I think made it all sort of worse because it just
yeah,
comes out of the blue like that. All
yeah,
of a sudden, it's all changed.
yeah,
Um, but I know that there's going to be many, many things in this conversation that I know that mum going through that horrendous loss will be able to take
yeah.
some
I
peace
just want,
from.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's why I'm so open and real and raw about what I went through, losing my child, is because I know that, yep, people can't talk about it. So if I can be a voice for those ones that can't talk about it, maybe they can take a piece of what I've said and go, yeah, no, I get what she's saying. And,
Yeah.
like, I want people to know that, you know what, it's okay. You're allowed to be feeling like you're feeling. But
Mm,
I want people to know that, there's no time frame on grief or grieving the loss of your child, but you don't want to be stuck in that dark place for too long, because
no.
it can take control. Like, I just want people to go, yeah, go through that and feel that. But it's just sad to see when people are just stuck there and they feel like there's no way out, and I
Yeah.
think that's why I like to be a voice for people, so that they can get an understanding of, hey, it's okay. You can get
Yeah.
yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I still have my moments. I think I just had a moment yesterday, like had karakia with my angel baby yesterday, and I was
Mm,
just like, yeah, it's okay to have those little moments, but I always remember to get back on my feet, just carry on.
yes.
And that
Yeah.
he's still there. He's still there. He's still been like pitter-pattering around me all these years and watching over his mother. Like, I get my signs all the time. And
Yeah.
like, the 11s, the ones, it's a very
Yes.
significant number for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I get those all the time, and I just got that just before we started our Zoom.
Yes.
Just like, oh, here we go, little boy. What are you up to? Do you want mummy to do this? And I'm like, well, I'm actually saying that out loud. Like, do you want mummy to do this, or are you trying to cut this thing? Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
So
it's
fine.
it's beautiful. And I
Hmm.
see just something else that's come to mind for me. You put a list of names and babies up on your page recently. That was quite a long list. Were they those babies? They're babies that have been lost, obviously, and children.
Yeah, that's
Um,
over the years in New Zealand, like babies that have been murdered and killed and hurt and stuff like that.
right. I
Yeah,
thought
so
that
then
was
it
the
was actually
case.
shared on another platform that I'm on. Yeah, there's been lots of stuff going on with our children, like on that
Totally.
side. Like,
Yeah.
I don't just share like the loss of losing a child and stuff like that. I like to share that kind of stuff too. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
putting that out there, that there's so much stuff going on behind doors that we don't even know about. Like,
Absolutely.
just see that kids are being lost that way too. Children,
Yes.
babies are being lost that way. Like,
Yeah.
you've got people out there that can't have kids, and yeah, it's just, yeah.
I
I
know
think
it's very
I
sad,
like
eh?
to wrap myself up around like any sort of baby loss, like child loss, and that, because I feel as though if I can wrap my arms around somebody and just give them a bit of love,
Yeah.
that maybe they get a bit of something from that, like,
Yeah.
and that's what I feel when I'm online. Like, I'm wrapping my arms around those ones that just can't talk about it.
That's right.
If I can
Yeah.
do that, and if that helps them, helps soften their heart a little bit, or,
Yeah.
just, yeah. Like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I want to take that mamai away from them. Like, I know I can't, but with me sharing, I feel as though, oh, okay, maybe I'm taking a little bit of that in my mind. Like, it's sad to
Absolutely.
see someone go through that, and I know what it's like.
Yeah.
So if I can share my story and take a bit of that hurt from them,
Yeah.
that makes me feel good too. Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it helps me too. So
Yeah, for sure. No, you're
yeah,
definitely doing that, Simone. Honestly, I can guarantee you that. I just know there's many, many women out there that have found solace in what you've been saying and,
yeah,
found some
aw,
peace. Mm.
yeah. Oh, nice. That's
So
cool.
keep going out there the way you're doing it, because
I
man, it's
am.
making an impact, and you
Yeah.
are just a Trojan, like I say, you're just amazing. So
Aw, thank you,
thank you
Mandy.
so much for coming in and having this chat. I can't wait for it to get out there.
Yeah, well,
For
thank you for
people to
having
hear.
me. I really appreciate that, being able to share my story and my journey with everyone.
No, you're very, very welcome. It was a beautiful chat. So thank you again, and much, much love to you
Oh,
and
you
your
too.
whānau.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Welcome.